Hey guys, this is Saganaki. I am a community volunteer community moderator with Prosperous Universe. I just wanted to go over getting started in Prosperous Universe because I see a lot of people are having trouble with it. Um, I'm going to make a few of these videos. This is just going to be the first of just hey getting started and getting acclimated to the Apex UI. So first things first, you're gonna once you sign in and log in, you're gonna see this screen. Um, Effectively, the starting package matters in as for what you're going to create initially, but you are by no means locked into your starter package. Uh, for example, if you really wish to, you can have you can have a farm, you can have an incinerator to generate carbon, you can have an extractor to pull ore, you can have a smelter to smelt the ore, all on the same planet. There are some, upsides and downsides to doing so, but that's something that you will learn later, or I can discuss later as well. So I'm going to start by choosing the most popular package right now, and that is the Victualler. Victualler is effectively they're the food industry starter package. So you can generate your own rations and drinking water, so you can feed your own workers. So the go-to starter planet for Victualler is Prometor. Prometor is the most. Let's see if we can find it here. Prometor is the most fertile planet, and it also has a significant amount of water, which is necessary. So you'll see a bunch of stuff here, like it's got some oxygen on the planet that you can extract if you wish as well. Water, which is super important for farming, and it has a minor amount of halite crystals and nitrogen. Um, so what's important here is you can see that, hey, the nearest commodity exchange, and the commodity exchange is what you are going to be using to to do all of your trading, is in system. That means you won't need FTL or faster than light jumps to reach the commodity exchange. I will note that um, having a planet that isn't in the same system um, is somewhat more difficult, but it's really not a huge deal if it's, within, I would say, 4 jumps. Within 4 jumps, it's completely reasonable. Uh, I, if you're just getting started, I suggest within 2 jumps. So 2, 1, or 0 jumps from the nearest exchange, just to keep things a little simple for you. So I'm going to start with Prometor. I'm going to type in my company name, Saganaki Stream here, and I'm going to do SAG2. I have explicit permission to create a second account from the devs. You are normally not permitted to have multiple accounts. This game does not allow multi-accounting. And then I'm going to click confirm and hit create. So now the UI is going to show up, and we're going to see that hey, I am on Prometor. So normally you will get some help messages. I'm going to skip that. I strongly do suggest that you go through that. But some things that you should do to start is so number one, if we go to the help menu, we can see what we got here. It's going to say, hey, video transmissions, handbook, etc. But the first step you should do is build your first base. Okay, so the way to do that is you literally just hit start base here. If I hit start base, it's going to say, all right, in order to do so, you need a core module kit and 100 MCG, which is mineral construction granulate. So one of my ships should have that, and it looks like this is the ship that has that. So I'm going to click the cargo button here, and I'm just going to pull them both out so we can see. So I'm going to hit build base. So, so yes, I'll also mention that the planet does say it doesn't have any plots, but if it is your first base, you are permitted to overbuild on that planet. The devs added this specifically to make it a little simpler. Um, so now I'm going to click. So now that I've built my base, I'm going to hit View Base. Um, so this is where the beauty of, or this is where the Apex UI really shines. So what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to dock these windows. So I'm going to I'm going to click this little semicolon button to bring up the command here, but I'm going to drag the inner part of this window over here, uh, and then actually, you know what? What I'm going to do before I even do that, I'm going to split this window. So this button is actually split vertically. That does not minimize, but I'm going to split this guy horizontally. I'm going to drag the inner part of the window over here to have it here. I'm going to pull the inventory out. I'm going to drag this guy here. I'm going to, basically pull some stuff out and organize my UI how I want. So um, these floating windows are called buffers. You can create a new one by clicking this new buffer button at the bottom left. And these are temporary windows. Everything that you dock to your UI is permanent. So what I'm going to do here is, now that I've gotten my UI set up kind of how I want, the next step in the help menu, clicking over here, is to build the building recommendations. Oh, and it's going to pull up this page. But I'm going to go back here. It looks like it's opening a different window here, which is fine. But so for Victualler, it wants me to build a rig, a farmstead, and a food processor. So I'm going to do so. So the way to do this is you need to go to your base, go to View Base, and then go to Construct. So you're going to see that, hey, it's saying it's missing. The reason for this is because in order to build on the planet, it needs to be in your base inventory. So right now, all of these things are on the ship. So what I'm going to do is drag. So there's two ways. You can click this unload button, which will unload everything into the base, or you can just start dragging stuff, right? And it looks like I'm progressing through some of the things here. So it's saying, once you've transferred all the construction materials to your base, it is time to start building. So it says click the base, click View Base, and then click the construction button, which is what I have right here. So it wants me to build 2 HB1s. So I'm going to build 2 of those guys. 1, 2. So what an HB1 does is it offers capacity. So you can house 100 pioneers each. So I have a total capacity of 200 now. I am going to find rig here. Rig is going to be so what if you click on this over here, I should explain that, is that it's going to bring up a new buffer and it's going to say, hey, this extracts liquid resources. In the planet case, in this planet, the only liquid is water. So this is going to be used for pulling water out. So I'm going to create a rig, which is under the resources tab, hit build. And then it wants me to create a farm and a food processor. So a farm is under pioneers. I'm going to build one of those. And then I'm also going to build a food processor. Okay, so there we go on that. So next step is you go back to this base pane. So if you didn't dock it, you can go to the BS on the left side, View Base, and then go to Production. And we'll see that we have a production line here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dock this guy because I feel that it's very important to have it. So I'm going to drag the inside of this, put it over here. And now what I can do is what you should be doing is queuing up orders. So I'm going to queue up an order for some water. I'm going to basically throw a bunch of orders of water up. I'm going to throw some orders for food. So what's important here is there is a drop down here. So you need to go through this and see, hey, what can I actually make? What you start with is grain, bean, and vegetables, or high carb grains, protein rich beans, and triglyceride fruits, which is veg, or tomatoes. So what I need to do is go, all right, I need to find bean, veg, grain. Okay, so this is the recipe I have the materials for. Right here, this production template at the bottom here. So I'm going to queue up, let's see, I only have 6, so I'm going to queue up 6 of these. So I'm going to have 1 active, and then 1, 2, 3, yeah, so this is, now we have some inputs missing. So you're going to see, all right, it's halted, what's going on? So in order for your workers to work, they need the following materials. They need drinking water, which is listed here, rations, and overalls. So it says, hey, I need 4.8 a day of drinking water and rations, and I need 0.6 of overalls. You start with some amount of them. So what you need to do is you need to basically drag them to your base inventory so your workers consume them. The way you can do that is you can drag or you can click unload. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit unload, and you're going to see that these things start working. Lo and behold, hey, it's starting working. And it's going to take 6 hours 48 for one order of rations, which one order of, yeah, so it creates 10 units as an output, but it takes one grain, one bean, one veg. And then you're going to see, all right, I'm going to get 8 units of water in 6 hours 38 minutes. And now I have to figure out what I need to make for farms. So this is where I'm going to step through this bit, which is how do we figure out what we're going to be growing? So we have the food processor, which seems to consume the products made by the farm. And this is, I guess I'm going to take a step back and I'm going to open a new buffer here. I'm going to open up two, actually. So we're going to do BUI, which is for building information, FRM. Another way to get to this is to go to your farmstead, click details. I guess that's not an option. You would have to go to your base, to the buildings, and then find the farm and click the little icon, the box here. And that's what will bring it up right there. I'm also going to make a new pane for FP, which is food processor. So here's what we can see. We can see some baseline information for both of these buildings. So I can make, so I don't have access to nutrient solution or DDT, so I am limited to the other H2O recipes. What I want to do here is I want to figure out what's the best, what do I have to make to generate rations. So I can do bean, grain, veg. So let's just go with that. There are alternative recipes, right? So another recipe that is good for water conservation, I believe, is grain, bean, nut. Yes. So the reason for that is nut only uses one H2O and generates 12 nuts. So, but the downside of that is that it takes 36 hours to do so. So it's a low input water recipe that generates quite a bit of nut, and but the problem is it takes longer. In this case, because Promitor has pretty good concentration of water, it's pretty up there. I'm going to start working with higher usage of water. So what I'm going to do is let's queue some orders up, and let's say grain, bean, veg generates. That's a good one because so grain your options for grain are 1 water for 4 grain over 12 hours, or 4 water for 4 grain over 9 hours. So this is going to be the faster recipe, but it uses more water, which we're totally okay with. Then there's bean. Bean, you can do 1 to 2 over 6 hours, or 6 to 4 over 9 hours 36 minutes. This is going to be the faster recipe as well. And then veg, what do we have? Veg is 3 water for 4 veg over 10 hours 48 minutes. So if you're looking at this, you're kind of going, okay, this is really damn confusing. You're right, it is. So this is kind of why they call this game the spreadsheet simulator. You can spend quite a bit of time going, all right, what's my optimal, ratio of inputs, and how many rigs do I need? How many food processors do I need? Do I need more farms? What's the how do I balance all of these inputs? And that is the game essentially. There's a reason they call this the spreadsheet simulator. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go dead simple. I'm going to say grain of bean veg. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the high yield bean recipe. And that's going to make 4. So we're going to queue that. I'm going to do the grain recipe next to the high yield grain. And then we're going to do veg. So what's going to happen is that this is going to, then we're going to have to repeat this, right? So I'm going to do bean again, grain, veg. So now we have started at our base and we are set. So the base is starting. So it started. You are good. What you want to do now is actually let me add one more ration here, just so it's fully queued up. So we have all of our queues done, and so now we're good. The only thing is we are running at 88% efficiency. Our worker efficiency is 88%, I believe. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. The worker efficiency. How do we see that again? Oh, yes. So our pioneers are working at 79% efficiency. The reason for that is that we don't have padded work overalls or coffee. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by flying a ship to the nearest commodity exchange. The commodity exchange is the way where this is where all the trade happens in the universe. There are a number of commodity exchanges, but this is what I'm going to show off real quick. So I'm going to click CXL on the left here. The nearest commodity exchange to Prometor, as we saw in the first video, or in the first the creation screen, is Hortus Station. The way to figure this information out for you is go to the map here, and we're going to turn off everything except for base and commodity exchange. So we're going to find this little triangle icon, which is right there, and the nearest commodity exchange is this guy, and it's going to tell you click on it, and you're going to find the commodity exchange here. So the commodity exchange is Hortus Station. Hortus Station Commodity Exchange. So that's one way to search for it. Or if you just know, you can click CXL on the left, Hortus Station Commodity Exchange, and it's going to pull it up, and you can go through the help here. So what I was saying before is we're looking for coffee, and we're looking for padded work overalls to make our workers more efficient. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on padded work overalls. I'm also going to click on coffee. And we're going to see, okay, both of these guys, they have a category. They're called Consumables Luxury. All right, that's where they are. Thankfully, that's what our default is. But if you were looking for something else, you switch to whatever that other category is. So what I'm going to do is we have PWO and we have coffee. Now, you can look through all this, but I don't feel this is super helpful when you're starting. The best thing that's helpful here is the orders pane. So what we're going to do is I'm going to order some PWO and coffee from the exchange, but in the meantime, I'm going to actually fly to Hortus Station. So my advice is to kind of play with this slider here. And let's see, 1 hour. Whoa, that was weird. Okay, that was just, it didn't update correctly. So I'm going to say, all right, 2 hours, 42 minutes for 60 units of STL. So you want to make sure to conserve as much fuel as you can. The reason being that you have to pay for it, right? So STL fuel, you can't make it. Therefore, you will eventually need to buy it. So just make sure to conserve and just get the numbers right. For example, you don't want to fly to the station while you're asleep. What I mean by that is, hey, you don't want to land when you're asleep. You want to land when you're awake or when you're able to check it. So 2 hours, 42 minutes seems reasonable. I'm going to hit start. And we're going to be flying there. It's going to take us 2 hours, 41 minutes to get there. In the meantime, I'm going to order some PWO. So the way you do this is, so I clicked on the orders for the PWO, this little button here. And we're going to see, all right, we have a bunch of people requesting PWO. So this guy, whatever company this is Captain Cougar, is requesting 10 units of PWO at a price point of 132 ICA. So it's important to note that this is kind of like an actual real-world example of markets. He wants to buy at 132, but no one has sold him at 132 yet. Or there's 10 remaining. He has 10 requests for 132 at that price point. However, the next person, this guy, is willing to part with 178 units of PWO at 135 each. So in this instance, I'm just going to go, all right, I don't really care about a 3 point difference, a three currency difference per unit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go out and buy some PWO. So let's say I'm going to buy, so I'm going to buy 5 days worth, or you know what, let's go with 10 days worth. So what we're going to do here is we're going to bring up the trusty calculator, and then we're going to try to buy 10 days worth. And this is simple math, but you know I'm just working through it. Is we're burning through zero point 0.2 units a day. So 0.2 times 10, and that means we need to buy 2 units of PWO. So I'm going to click this button over on the top right. It says CXPO, place order. I'm going to put 2 PWOs for 135 each. So because I'm buying at 135 each, what's going to end up happening is it's instantly going to be bought because this guy's offering at 135. If I put in a bid for, let's say, 133, my name is going to show up here. So let's try that. Let's do that. Okay, 133. I am offering to buy 2 PWO at 133. But if I only care and just want to just buy the PWO outright, I'm just going to buy at 135. So I hit buy. You're going to see this number go down. It's going to go to 176. So, hey, it looks like you closed your first contract. Find it via const. Also available in the left sidebar. So it's telling us, hey, what's going on here. So I'm going to click sidebar, and then it's going to push everything over a little bit, and we have this new pending contract here. I'm going to click view, and it's going to say, all right, you have a contract to pick up 2 units of padded work overalls from the station. Great. So when my ship gets there, I'm going to click this guy and click the fulfill button, and I will load up the PWO into my ship. Next, I need to buy coffee. And we said, hey, let's buy 10 days worth, right? So 10 days times 0.6 would be 6 units of coffee. So we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to go to the orders list. Coffee is a little bit more expensive, right? Which is fine, but I'm just going to go with it. This is where you would probably want to do some spreadsheeting or some math to see if coffee is worthwhile for you. Generally speaking, my advice is to get coffee assuming it's less than 500 currency. That's my advice, but that's just kind of a hand-wavy math advice. So we're going to buy, what do we say? So it's 6 times 0.6 times 10, so that'd be 6 units, and we're just going to straight up buy it at 387. Hit buy. It's going to show up as a contract again. Lo and behold, I can just go and pick it up. So now we're going to have to do some other math. We're going to say, all right, and this is where you continue on through the mathing and the spreadsheeting, and you go, all right, I have how many days left of overalls? So it looks like I have 5 days worth of overalls. Is it 5? Yeah, I did that. I think I did that math right. But yeah, we have like around 5 days worth of overalls. I have around 5 days of rations and DW. So if I want to get 10 days worth in a single package, I'm going to have to buy 4 additional overalls, 35 more rations, 35 more DW. Alternatively, because I'm generating rations, I probably don't care about it. And what I can also do is, now that I think about it, is because I have excess water and I'm generating water, what I can do is I can cancel all these guys. I'm going to click the details at the bottom of the food processor, cancel all of them. I'm going to make myself an order of drinking water. So it's 10 H2O to 7 drinking water. So I'm going to just go ahead and do that. And so, you know, I can feed myself rations in DW and I don't have to worry about it anymore, which is great. Obviously, I might need to keep in mind that I might run out of water, right? So this consumes 10 water, and these guys, the farms, consume 6 water, 4 water, 3 water. So I'm just gonna have to keep that in mind, keep an eye on things, or I'm gonna have to do the math and run some spreadsheets and figure out how much water is gonna be consumed. Um, So next thing I can do, I'm seeing if you have your sidebar enabled, is hey, I have plenty of ICA up here in the top right. What I'm going to want to do is probably spend that money. The reason is because you're not really gaining, you're not growing if you have a cash balance. So you want to get this down a little bit. That's the general advice, because money that's sitting around isn't money growing. You know, capitalism and all that. So what I'm gonna do, or at least I think I should do, is I'm going to grow. So right now I have if I go to my workforce pane, or I had it right here, uh, I have 120 required pioneers, but I have space for 200. I think what I should do is I'm going to build another rig. So I'm going to click construct. I'm going to go to resources here. Let's see what I need for a rig. I need 12 BSC and 40 MCG. So let's go back to the exchange. So let's go to CXL. Let's go to the Hortus exchange. Um, and BSC and MCG. So I'm going to click BSC. I'm going to click MCG. So let's start with BSC. BSC is construction prefab. So let's drop down here, go to the prefab. Let's see, BSE is what we're looking for. BSE, I'm going to click orders. And it looks like BSE is 1540 per. That's a little expensive. I mean, it's close to the market maker price, which is the NPC buy or offer price. Uh, these guys are just there to prevent the universe from exploding. Um, but yeah, so this is a little expensive, which is, it's probably okay right now. It's probably worthwhile even still to buy it. But let's see, MCG. MCG is a construction material, so let's go to that guy. MCG orders. Did I click it? I didn't click it. MCG orders. There we go. So, and these guys are going for a 33.99 ICA per. Also pretty expensive, but that's just how it goes. So let's see what so to walk through this process, I'm going to click this button that says place order again. I'm going to type in 12 BSC, and we're going to say we're just going to buy it outright, 1540. And then I'm going to do the same thing here, place order. How much MCG do we need? We need 40 MCG, as this says. And we're going to buy it outright for 33.99. So what this is going to cost us about 20,000 ICA. So when you add these two together, I mean, I could do the math, but it's about 20,000. I think that's worth it. I have plenty of cash left over. Um, so a good idea and is to buy the parts for a rig, load it and then load up your ship that is coming here, and then send it back to Prometor and build and drag the parts back into your inventory and build it. So what ends up happening is that you end up having 2 active rig slots instead. So what that means is you can have 2 concurrent jobs of water extraction going at once. Worth noting that because your worker count goes up, your consumption goes up as well. So instead of 4.8 units, it'll be like 5, I think. I'm trying to think what the math is. Let's see. Rigs. Where's a rig? Bring up the rig. Rig is 30 pioneers. So yeah, I think it's around 0.2 or 0.3 units of rations and drinking water. And the other things will go up as well. So as you can see, the game is really complex. There's no question. It is also very slow paced. Example, it's going to take 6 hours to generate 8 units of water, and that's how normally the game goes. It's going to take 2.5 hours to fly to the station. That right there is actually exceedingly fast. So, at least for this game. So this is a game that it's a thinking man's game. It's not really, or a thinking person's game. I shouldn't say man. It's a thinking person's game. It's not a Twitch game. It's not something super fast. It's a game that you play on the side, and that's kind of how it's done. It's more economics than anything else. I hope this helps people that are playing the game, or at least getting started. Let me know if there's anything else that you guys would like me to cover. I'm happy to do so. Thanks.